What is up, sexy beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're going to be going over every single Call of Duty Zombies wonder weapon on round 50. Now this is just strictly wonder weapons, or like the special weapon of the map. We're not going to be including Gersh devices or specialist weapons like the swords, the Annihilator, the DG4s, or the skulls. All that stuff will be for a different video. And real quick, before we actually get started, I just want to say after the 4th DLC actually does drop, I will be updating this video. I'm just kind of making this video to get like a good feel of how I want to make the actual final thing. So let's go ahead and get on to the first ever wonder weapon ever introduced, the ray gun. The ray gun has been with us since World at War, all the way to Black Ops 3, and probably will be with us until the end of Zombies. Now when you upgrade it, it's going to turn into the Porter's X2 ray gun, and this thing on round 50 is not really that good. So back in World at War, the ray gun was like the weapon to have, but in Black Ops 3, people are like, dude, I don't even want that thing, get that thing away from me. One of the reasons I think this is happening is not because the ray gun has changed throughout the years, it's really been the exact same thing, just the skin has changed. One of the reasons is that we've been having better and better weapons and more ways to kill zombies. We have specialist weapons, we have gobble gum, we have double pack-a-punch abilities, we have stronger weapons. There's just so many different ways to kill zombies way more efficiently than the ray gun that it kind of makes the ray gun look like poop. And also, people are going to farther and farther rounds nowadays that they're actually being able to see that the ray gun isn't that good. I remember back in the day in Black Ops 1, people would be like on round 100 and people would be like, dude, why aren't you using the ray gun? Use the ray gun, because people didn't really go that far back in the day. But once people actually start going to farther and farther rounds, they actually see that the ray gun isn't that good. And on round 50, it's probably a pretty good example. You really wouldn't think round 50 is too far of a round, but it's also not too low of a round. It's like the perfect round to really see what the ray gun can do on a I guess, high round. And it's really not going to be able to do much. It's just going to create crawler after crawler. You will be able to kill zombies eventually, but it's just going to take a long time and a lot of ammo, and to me, it's really not even worth it. But if you're going to use this weapon on round 50, the best strategy that I can say to use it is to get all the zombies as close together as possible and shoot it at the ground to try to get that splash damage effect, and just keep doing that over and over and over again until you actually do kill the zombies. Now my thoughts about the ray gun, I was never really a huge fan of it, even back in World War, because you could always down yourself if you shot it too close to you. Then once Black Ops 1 came around, we actually had PhD flopper, so the ray gun became a little bit more useful, and that's actually when I started to do high round stuff, and then that's when I actually realized that the ray gun wasn't that good, and then Black Ops 2 came around, and then Black Ops 3 came around, and now the ray gun is just meh. So I've really never been the world's biggest fan of the ray gun, but I can appreciate it for being the first wonder weapon ever in Zombies, and I really do hope it stays with us till the end of Zombies. So let's go ahead and go on to the next weapon. Alright, up next is going to be the wunderwaffe, or the wunderwaffe as everyone likes to call it. This was available first in Shinanuma, then in Der Riese in both the World War Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3 version, and it was also in Call of the Dead. Now, if you used this bad boy in World War Der Riese, you were probably going to lose Jug. There was like a 90% chance that you were going to fuck up and shoot too close to yourself, and you were going to lose Jug. So back in the day in World at War, which still to this day is true, if you use the wunderwaffe too close and you actually electrocute yourself, you lose Jug. The icon's still there, but the effect doesn't work. So basically you have a worthless Juggernaut. There's no way to fix it if you're playing solo, and you're basically fucked. But they did patch it for Black Ops 1, and of course it's obviously fixed for the Giant. But the wunderwaffe on round 50 is pretty good. It's not the world's greatest weapon we've ever had, but it's still a pretty good weapon. It does infinite amount of damage, so it's always going to kill zombies. But it does have a limit to how many zombies it can kill, so you're not going to be taking out entire trains of 24, but you are going to be able to take out some zombies, and the wunderwaffe does carry a pretty decent amount of ammo, so you're not going to be running out of ammo anytime soon. And there's really no perfect strategy for the wunderwaffe. Everyone kind of has their own. Me, when I'm going to far rounds on these maps, I usually just rely on traps. The wunderwaffe is always just like a safety measure, unless I'm playing on World War Der Riese, then I never use the thing. But if you're playing on Call of the Dead, the wunderwaffe is actually a pretty important weapon if you want to go for far rounds, because eventually, that's the only thing that can do anything on that map. So it really all kind of depends on what map you're playing and what kind of strategy you want to run. But on round 50, this weapon is still going to kill zombies. It's not going to be able to kill them all, but it's still going to be able to kill some zombies. Alright, up next is going to be the Thunder Gun, or when upgraded to the Zeus Cannon. This weapon was available on Kino, Ascension, and Black Ops 1, Nocturne Toten. Now the Thunder Gun back in the day, I would say up until like, I would say maybe to the middle of Black Ops 2, was actually considered to be a really OP wonder weapon. Everyone thought this weapon was like the most OP wonder weapon because it basically got rid of anything in its path. Nowadays, I would say this weapon isn't OP. I would say this weapon is like the ideal wonder weapon. I mean, some of the wonder weapons we have nowadays, you could literally just sit in a corner and camp. You don't even need to have to run a strategy. But with a Thunder Gun, you still had to run your strategy, and you really couldn't camp to high rounds because you'd run out of ammo. So the Thunder Gun, in my opinion, is an ideal wonder weapon. It takes out an entire train of 24. It does it instantaneously. You can't camp to get to high rounds, and it does have its drawbacks. You cannot reload the weapon. It does not carry a lot of ammo, carries a decent amount of ammo, and also it does have a range. So if you try to shoot from medium to far range, you're probably just going to knock the zombies to the ground, and they're just going to get right back up. But the Thunder Gun on round 50 is still going to be able to take out an entire train of 24, and it's always going to be able to take out an entire train of 24. The Thunder Gun, in my opinion, is definitely the ideal wonder weapon. It's personally one of my favorite wonder weapons, and if I was going to far rounds on almost any map, this is the weapon I probably want. So the best strategy that I could say is to get all the zombies, and you want to get them as close together as possible, because again, the range on this thing isn't really that good, and you kind of want to let the zombies get a little bit close to you, not too close to where they're going to down you or anything, but pretty close to you, and then just use the Thunder Gun, and they all go bye-bye. So the Thunder Gun, in my opinion, is definitely one of the best wonder weapons. Alright, and next up is going to be the Winter's Howl, which was available on 5 and Black Ops 1 Verrugged, and when upgraded to the Winter's Fury, which is only available on 5. The Winter's Howl is definitely one of the weakest wonder weapons. It really poops out fairly early, and on round 50, it's just not even worth your time. You might kill one train of 24 if you're lucky, and you're going to waste almost all of your ammo on this thing. This thing is just not worth your time unless you want to kill the Pentagon Thief. Then, you know, this is probably the weapon you're going to want to have. But if your goal is to kill zombies, this weapon is just not for you. Because on round 50, it's going to struggle, and it's going to struggle hard. If I had to compare this to anything, I'm going to compare it to the ray gun. They do almost the same amount of damage, it's just the ray gun carries a lot more ammo. And I personally really do like this weapon. I think it's a pretty interesting design. I like the looks of it, I like what it does. I just wish it was more powerful. I wish it was actually more useful, because like once you get to the 20s and 30s, it kind of starts pooping out and you're like, oh, well now what do I do? And 5 is a really hard map to go to far rounds in if you don't have a wonder weapon, because you have to rely on traps in the spawn room, and that is extremely difficult. So I like the concept of the Winter's Howl. I just wish they would have made it a lot better. I just wish it would have been stronger. So that way it's actually useful and not just a big piece of crap. But it's still a fun weapon to use if I'm playing with some friends. It's still a great weapon to have if you need to revive some teammates. Just shoot this weapon, it's going to slow down some zombies. You can easily go revive your teammates. Or if you want to get rid of the Pentagon Thief really quick, just use this weapon. He's going to die pretty quick. So again, I really like this weapon, love the concept, love the design, love what it does. I just wish it was stronger. Next up is going to be the VR11, or when upgraded to the VR11 Lazarus, and this is only available on Call of the Dead. Now this wonder weapon isn't a killing zombies wonder weapon, this is really an Easter egg and getting rid of the George wonder weapon. So in round 50, it can kill zombies and it can be used to kill zombies. So if you're playing with multiple people and you have this upgraded and you shoot a friend, it's like an insta-kill effect. No matter what they do, they're always going to be able to kill zombies, but it does have a limited amount of time. But if you're playing solo, you don't get this effect, and really all you can do is get rid of George and create humans, which kind of act as monkey bombs as long as the zombies are close to them. And you can also explode zombies, but you're going to be wasting a lot of ammo, and it's kind of hard to get the same shots on the same zombies. So this weapon is really just to get rid of George if you're playing solo, but if you're playing with 2 players, it is vital to going to far rounds. All you have to do is shoot your friend, and they basically have like an insta-kill and can do whatever they want. But again, if you're playing solo, this is really just an anti-asshole perk. It kind of just gets rid of George whenever he comes back, and you could kind of use it as monkey bombs every now and then, but the zombies really do have to be close to that human. In my opinion of this, if you're playing with friends, it's a really good thing to have because you can always get rid of George. I mean, George is such a pain in the ass in Call of the Dead, so this is really good if you're playing with friends, but if you're playing solo, and you want to go for far rounds, you need that wunderwaffe. That wunderwaffe is basically what's going to take you to far rounds, because eventually the next weapon, the Scavenger, isn't going to do anything. So if you're playing solo, this weapon, after like round 30s, I think like 36, this weapon just becomes ineffective. You don't need it anymore because you actually do need to kill George to get the wunderwaffe. But all in all, I just like the concept of the weapon. It's still a fun weapon to use. It looks pretty cool, and I like all the things it does. I like how it's just not made to kill zombies, it's made for other things around the map. Alright, up next is going to be the Scavenger, and when upgraded to the Hyena Infradead, and this is only available on Call of the Dead, and this is personally my favorite wonder weapon. I love this weapon. Even though it's not that good, on round 50 it's going to take a lot of shots to actually kill some zombies, and it starts pooping out, I think it's like on round 36, that's when it starts to take more than one shot. But this weapon is my favorite wonder weapon. I love using it. I don't know why, it's just so much fun to use this weapon. I can't explain it. I just love this weapon. I love how we finally had like a wonder weapon sniper rifle. I thought that was pretty cool. The only downside about this weapon is 1, its strength. It kind of poops out fairly early on, and it's really not that strong. And 2, you really have to have PhD Flopper if you're going to use this wonder weapon. If you're going to use this, you need PhD Flopper, or else you're more than likely going to down yourself. So this wonder weapon heavily relies on PhD Flopper. But on round 50, it's not going to do much. Again, like I said before, it's going to take multiple shots. So instead of going after zombies, I would recommend you use this weapon to go after George, get the wunderwaffe, and then use that to kill zombies if you want to go for far rounds on Call of the Dead. But if you just desperately want to kill zombies with this weapon on round 50, get all the zombies rounded up together, get them kind of behind you, shoot the wonder weapon in front of you because it does have a delay from when you shoot to when the explosion actually happens, lead the zombies into the explosion, and you're going to be good. But you have to do that a couple times. But you'll still be good. Up next is going to be the baby gun, or the official name 3179 JGB 215, or when upgraded to the Fractalizer. This is only available in Shangri-La, and on paper is one of the best wonder weapons in zombies history. It has the potential to kill, I can't remember the exact number, but it is a lot of fucking zombies. And again, I say potential, it is not a guaranteed kill. So what this weapon does is it shrinks zombies down to a little itty bitty baby. And once they're down to that itty bitty baby size, they have a certain amount of time to when they're going to stay like that. And while they're itty bitty babies, they are basically an insta-kill. No matter what you do, if you run them over, shoot them with a Car 98, somehow you get that on Shangri-La, I don't know how, but you do, they're going to die no matter what. Now, they can still hurt you, and they will grow back if you do not kill them. That's why I said on paper, this is technically the best wonder weapon because it has the potential to kill zombies. These zombies, if you run through that horde, can still actually kill you. But around 50, if you use it right and play it safe, you can actually kill an entire Training 24. But be careful because if you're running through that little train of mini-me's that you created, they can still hurt you, and whatever zombies you do not kill will actually turn right back into regular zombies with full health. So it's a good wonder weapon, you just really have to be cautious when using it. So my strategy would be, get all the zombies sort of trained up behind you, shoot the weapon, then either use the Simtex or a wall weapon that you have near you to take out all the zombies, because really, I do not recommend running through those zombies because they can still hurt you, and if just one happens to grow back up after you've been hit by all these little mini-me's, he might actually hit you and actually down you, so you have to play it safe with this wonder weapon. It's a good wonder weapon, and it can kill a lot of zombies, but it's also kind of dangerous to use, so you really do want to be cautious when you're actually using this wonder weapon. Now that aside, I really do like this wonder weapon. It's a fun wonder weapon to use. It is really funny making those little itty bitty zombies. It's just so much fun to use, and especially on the map. I feel like this wonder weapon really does fit this map really well. I don't know why, it just really fits with this map, and it really fits with the design and the layout of this map. Next up is going to be the wave gun, and when turned into dual wield pistols, the zap guns. Now this is only available on Moon, and when you back punch these bad boys, it turns into the Max wave gun and the Porter's X2 zap guns. Now this is definitely what I think your average wonder weapon should be. It doesn't have any lingering effects like the ice staff or anything like that, which we will eventually get to. But it can kill an entire train of 24, and it can kill them quick. It gets rid of anything in your path. But this weapon carries a lot of ammo, and it has two different ways to kill zombies. So you can either use the wave gun, which will kill an entire train of 24. It'll basically puff them up until they explode. Or you can use the zap guns, which are like pocket wunderwaffes, I guess. You shoot a zombie and they basically get electrocuted. It's not like the wunderwaffe where it's going to go from zombie to zombie. Once you shoot one zombie, that zombie is dead no matter what. And around 50, these things can really tear some shit up. They're really going to fuck up basically any zombie in your path. The only complaint I have with this is that when you use the wave gun, the zombies are going to kind of build up and then explode, and you can't see, and it's kind of hard to tell if you killed all the zombies, because every now and then, if you use the wave gun on a train of 24, you won't kill all the zombies. You're still going to have like one or two that actually manage to survive, and you won't be able to tell because all the zombies' dead corpses are going to be floating up in your way. So that can be kind of dangerous depending on which strategy you're running. If you're probably running in the biodome, you're more than likely going to be fine. But if you're running a much tighter, close quarter strategy, you might really want to be careful and mentally keep a note that this actually is a possibility. It does have the potential to not kill everything in its path, but majority of the time it's going to kill everything in its path. And one bad part about this, I also forgot to mention about the Thunder Gun, is this weapon and the Thunder Gun do not create drops. So no matter what you do, no matter how many zombies you kill, you will never get a drop like a max ammo, a carpenter, insta-kill. You will never get one of those with these weapons. So that can make your strategies with these weapons a little bit difficult, because you will have to plan out how you want to go about things, how you want to go about getting more ammo, especially in Moon and kind of in Ascension, because Ascension, the only thing that can kill those monkeys on high rounds is the Thunder Gun and traps. And on Moon, there's no dog round or anything like that. There's no monkey round. You're never going to get a max ammo round. So you have to actually either one, create drops a different way and then hack them, or two, put the wonder weapon back in the box and then get it back out. So going to far rounds with these weapons can kind of be a pain in the ass when it comes to the whole ammo situation, but once you kind of get that figured out, you're going to be good. Alright, the next wonder weapon, if you could even call that, is going to be the jet gun. Now real quick, I want to thank the Relaxing End for letting me use his footage. My Xbox 360 is currently broke, and I have no means of playing Transit, so I could not get this footage. And I reached out to him, and he said I could use his footage, so if you don't know who the Relaxing End is, which you should know who he is, but if you do not know who he is, link will be in the description, go check out his channel and then subscribe. But I'm pretty sure like all of you guys should know who he is. But again, I just want to say thanks to him for actually letting me use his footage. It really does help me a lot. So the jet gun, I guess, is debatable if you want to call it a wonder weapon, but it is kind of the special weapon of the map, so I'm going to throw it in this list. And it's only available on Transit, and the jet gun can be seen widely as one of the worst wonder weapons, but on round 50, it's still going to kill zombies. I want to say the power behind this wonder weapon and the potential behind this wonder weapon isn't that bad, but the use of it is definitely one of the worst. It is one of the worst wonder weapons to use. It is so annoying, it can break easily. It's hard to move when you're trying to use this thing, and overall it's just a pain in the ass to use. But it can still kill zombies, it can still keep sucking their life force out, I guess that's what they're doing. But it can still kill zombies on round 50, and that's all that really kind of matters, I guess. So if you want to go for 4 rounds, you're definitely going to need this weapon, because it can kill zombies. Now the manner in which it does so is a huge pain in the ass and turns a lot of people off of it, but it still does kill zombies on 4 rounds, and you can't say that with a lot of other wonder weapons that are actually in this video. So I mean, you gotta give the jet gun some credit for being able to kill zombies, but we can still give it the middle finger and say fuck you for being like almost impossible to use. Next up is going to be the Sliquifier, which is only available on Die Rise, and I think pre-patch this was definitely one of the most OP wonder weapons in history, but once they patched it, they kind of, toned it down a little bit. So what this weapon does is it shoots out this slimy goo, jizzy stuff, and it goes from zombie to zombie, killing them, and creates this little lava pool effect underneath. And every zombie that walks over that lava pool kind of slips around, and they have a chance of getting affected by this pink jizzy stuff. Now on round 50, this thing will still kill zombies. It does have the chance to kill an entire turn of 24, but it's also a very dangerous weapon to use. If you somehow shoot this thing too close to the edge, you can go slipping and sliding off the edge. If you shoot it too close to your feet, you can go slipping and sliding into a group of zombies. So you really do want to be careful where you are shooting this weapon, because you could also basically sign your own death warrant if you shoot it in the wrong place. So when you use this weapon, you want to be cautious, you want to know where exactly you're using it, so that way you don't like backtrack and then run over that slippy slimy stuff and end up sliding into a position that would basically just kill you. Now I believe this weapon is effective up until round 100. After that, it's going to require multiple shots, so this weapon does not do an infinite amount of damage, it just does a shit ton of damage. I believe this is the most powerful non-infinite damage that we actually have. In my opinion, I'm not the world's biggest fan of this weapon. I don't like it. I don't like how I can slip and slide all over the map. That is increasingly annoying to me, but I can't acknowledge it for how good it is. I'm just not the world's biggest fan of weapons that you can actually use to camp in a corner. That's probably my biggest pet peeve with this weapon, is that everyone just seems to camp in a corner with it, and I'm not the world's biggest fan of that. And also, I really dislike Die Rise. That's probably another huge part of that. I really dislike Die Rise. The next wonder weapon we're going to be talking about is the Blundergat, and when you, I guess, technically fully upgrade it, turns into the Acid-Gat, and this is only available on Mob of the Dead. And the Acid-Gat does not do an infinite amount of damage, so in round 50 it's going to take a couple shots to actually start taking out some zombies, but this still is a very unique wonder weapon. It's actually pretty cool. So when you actually shoot the Acid-Gat, these little green projectiles are going to go flying all over the place, and they're going to act like monkey bombs. So this weapon is not just a wonder weapon, it's also a monkey bomb. So even if you're on like round 100, this weapon can still be pretty helpful. Just by using it as a monkey bomb, you can save yourself. So on round 50, it still can't kill zombies. You can still actually use it for its monkey bomb effect. You can still use it to train zombies, to put them wherever you want to go. You can activate a trap and then send all the zombies into the trap. So the Acid-Gat, even though it still can't kill zombies on round 50, it's still a pretty useful and helpful weapon to have. And I like the wonder weapon. I'm not like in love with it or anything, but I also don't hate it. I would probably say I'm about iffy on this weapon. I'm about average. I don't love it, I don't hate it. It's okay. I probably love it more as a monkey bomb than an actual wonder weapon, because I probably find myself using the monkey bomb effect more than I actually find myself using the weapon itself to kill zombies. Alright, up next is going to be the Ray Gun Mark II, or when upgraded to the Porter's Mark II Ray Gun, and this was introduced and buried and then was then implemented into all Black Ops 2 zombie maps. Now this ray gun is definitely better than the original ray gun, but it does not do an infinite amount of damage, but it's very powerful, and not just because of its base damage, because of its headshot multiplier. If you aim for the head with this thing, you're going to kill zombies for a long time. And on round 50, as long as you're going for headshots, you're going to easily be able to take out some zombies. Now you can also go for their chest on round 50 and you still probably be able to take them out, but it's going to be much faster as long as you're going for headshots. So this weapon is a fantastic weapon. If you really need a weapon on early rounds that's not going to kill you like the ray gun would, and you need something that's going to take out anything in your path, this weapon is probably going to be it. It shoots 3-round burst, and it doesn't do like the splash damage effect like the ray gun does. And in my opinion, it looks a lot cooler than the original ray gun, so I actually do prefer the ray gun Mark II to the original ray gun. I find myself wanting this weapon to be in every single zombie map. I find myself wanting it to be in Black Ops 3, which it's not. I really do wish it was though. But I really do love the ray gun Mark II, and I'm definitely one of the first people to criticize Black Ops 2 zombies as a whole. But I gotta give it to them. When they introduced this weapon, that was a very smart move of them, and they did a very good job. I love this weapon, and I really do hope we actually see it return. It'd be a shame if we didn't. And if you're using this weapon on high rounds, like round 50, it's still gonna kill some zombies, but I wouldn't recommend using this over the main wonder weapon unless the main wonder weapon is a piece of poop. I would actually recommend using this as a side weapon, like if you're out of ammo in your main wonder weapon, and you need a max ammo, maybe start using this for a little bit to see if you can get a max ammo. Or if you are out of ammo in the main wonder weapon and you need to get around the map to do something, have this weapon out, but do not just solely rely on it. I would mainly keep this as a backup. Don't try to rely on this instead of the main wonder weapon. Alright, the next weapon we're going to be looking at is the Paralyzer, and it's only available on Buried, and when you pack punch this thing, it turns into the Petrifier. Now this weapon is kind of weird. It was the first wonder weapon ever introduced that doesn't have ammo. It just recharges, and it basically has infinite amount of ammo. And it also doesn't do infinite amount of damage, which is kind of weird to hear because it has infinite amount of ammo, so it kind of would do infinite amount of damage. But it does not do an infinite amount of damage, so eventually as you get to higher and higher rounds, you're going to start to notice that this weapon takes a lot longer to actually kill things. But on round 50, it's still going to be able to kill some zombies. Granted, it's going to be a little slower than it would be like on round 1, but you're still going to be able to kill some things, and if you get this weapon plus Vulture, that's a really OP combination. You could probably camp in a corner for a very, very long time. So I'm not the world's biggest fan of wonder weapons like these that allow you to basically just camp to get to high rounds. I'm not the world's biggest fan of those. And the Paralyzer, I don't really know what it is about it. Probably the design, probably the way it works. I'm just not the world's biggest fan of it. I never was since the release date. I was like, yeah, I really don't like this wonder weapon. But if you're going for high rounds on Buried, this weapon you're definitely going to need no matter what. This and a Vulture makes for a really good combination. Go sit on a catwalk or camp in the jug alley for as long as you need to, and you'll be good. Alright, up next is going to be the staves from Origins. We have the Ice Staff, the Fire Staff, the Wind Staff, and the Lightning Staff. Now for 3 of these staffs, the Ice Staff, the Fire Staff, and the Wind Staff, on round 50, you're going to be able to kill some zombies as long as you charge it. If you just shoot it with the one shot, you're not going to be able to do anything on round 50, and you're really just kind of wasting your time. But if you fully charge it and or half charge it, you're still going to be able to take out an entire train of 24, and depending on what kind of strategy you're running, you might be able to take out even more of that. But the Lightning Staff, on the other hand, is a piece of poop. It does not kill zombies on round 50, and really frustrated me when I first used it. I really never had used the Lightning Staff up until then, mainly because I always used the Ice Staff for the Wind Staff. But when I used it on round 50, I was like, god damn, this thing is useless, why would anyone want this? The Ice, Fire, and Wind Staff, all on round 50, can take out an entire turn in 24, and I would say the Ice Staff is by far the best. The Fire Staff and the Wind Staff are great staffs, but the Wind Staff lacks in ammo, and the Fire Staff can glitch your game out if you use it on too high of a round. I believe it's like up in the 60s and 70s, that's when your game really starts to get laggy. I used this thing on like round 71, around there, and I could definitely tell that my game was like on the verge of glitching out. So you really do want to be careful if you're using the Fire Staff on high rounds. The Ice Staff is definitely the way to go, and I would definitely say the Wind Staff is probably second place, and then the Fire Staff, and then the poopy Lightning Staff. But the best strategy for these staffs is to get all the zombies rounded up, charge the shot, and then shoot it. Unless you have the Lightning Staff, then your best strategy is to go pick up a different staff. Why would you ever build that unless you're trying to do the Easter egg? But definitely by far my favorite one is probably the Wind Staff. I really don't know why. I like the cool tornado it makes. I do like the Fire and Ice Staff. Those are really cool. I don't know. I like the Wind Staff probably the best. Alright, so now we're moving into Black Ops 3, and the first wonder weapon we were actually introduced is the Apothicon Servant, and when upgraded to, oh wait, Jason Blundell, you won't let us upgrade it. Or well, it's not upgraded in Shadows of Evil, the mysterious man that he is. So again, like I said before, we are not going to be including specialist weapons like the Skulls, the Swords, the Annihilator, the DG4s. Those are weapons for a different video. So the Apothicon Servant is like a shootable Gersh device. Whenever you shoot it, it's just going to suck zombies into it and immediately kill them. And on round 50, it's a deadly weapon. The only problem I have with it is it doesn't carry that much ammo. Given that you have a lot of gobble gum to basically make up for that, you can use the alchemical antithesis, or you can actually just use the max ammo one, And plus, there's so many other ways to kill zombies in Black Ops 3 that the ammo in this weapon really doesn't mean anything at that point. Really, the only reason I would use this is to save my ass. If I'm about ready to get cornered, I'm going to shoot this weapon. There's just so many other ways that you can actually kill zombies that the low ammo in this weapon doesn't really mean much. But on round 50, it's still going to kill some zombies. It's still going to be a badass. It's not going to affect the mark wall, so that kind of sucks. And you're also, like, I guess, fisting this weapon when you use it. You put your hand inside of its behind, which really does, like, worry me. Like, is this thing clean? Has it been checked by a doctor? Because I'm raw dogging it, man. I'm kind of scared. What if this thing gives me some weird tentacle disease? What if I start turning into the Flying Dutchman in this bitch? I don't want that to happen. So, you know, they need to check this thing for some STDs or something, because I'm not trying to turn into a weird octopus freak. But the best strategy for this weapon is to get all the zombies kind of as close together as possible, because this weapon doesn't have, like, the same, I want to say, like, range, radius as the Ghost device, because, like, when you throw a Ghost device, zombies from halfway across the map are still going to be, like, moonwalking backwards. That's not going to be happening with this weapon. The weapon's range, radius, whatever you want to call it, it's actually quite small. I would say it's, like, in pistol range. So if you want to use this weapon, you really want to get the zombies as close together as possible and not really spread out. Next up is going to be the Wrath of the Ancients, and this is very similar to the Staves, where you basically have 4 different wonder weapons. We got the Wolf Bow, Lava Bow, Storm Bow, and Void Bow. But unlike the Staves, on round 50, all of these actually work. There's not like one runt in the litter. On round 50, all of these will still kill zombies. But granted, there are still better ones to have, like the Wolf Bow and the Storm Bow are definitely the better ones to have, but you can still use the Lava and the Void Bow to actually get some kills. So the Wolf Bow, in my opinion, is probably the best. It gets rid of zombies in front of you immediately and has the potential to kill an entire train of 24 as long as you get the aim right. If you don't have the aim right, you might keep like 5 alive, but you're still going to be able to kill a lot of zombies. Now the Storm Bow is kind of a different effect. Once you shoot it, a lightning tornado is going to come out and basically just kill all the zombies around it. Again, you're not going to be able to take out an entire train of 24, but you're still going to be able to take out majority of the zombies. Wherever that lightning tornado goes, zombies die. Now the Lava and the Void Bow, I would say take out the same amount of zombies. They're not going to be able to take out an entire group of 24. And if you guys don't believe me about any of this, just by all means, watch the video. But they're still going to be able to kill some zombies on round 50. And with all 4 of these weapons being able to kill a lot of zombies on round 50, that just makes for an OP map. And plus these weapons are all actually pretty easy to get compared to the Staves. So it's not really that hard to get to far rounds on this map whatsoever. And in my opinion, I like these a lot better than the Staves. The Staves feel like too witchcrafty to me and too like magic-y to me. And the bows aren't like that much better, but they're a little bit better to me. I can somewhat believe it. It's not like fooling me here or anything like that. But, I mean, they're not magical staves. And then when you think we used to come from Nazi zombies to where we are now, like, magical staves, in my opinion, don't really fit that. But again, that's just my opinion. You might have your own, and that's totally fine. So let's go ahead and get on to the most recent wonder weapon, the KT-4, or when upgraded to the Masamune, something like that, and it's only available in Zetsuba no Shima. And this weapon is like the Fire Staff had sex with the Sliquifier, and they had a love child. This weapon is literally those 2 weapons combined. It has the Fire Staff like lava pool effect, and also has the Sliquifier where it goes from zombie to zombie effect. And as far as my knowledge, it doesn't have the cons of either. It doesn't have the con of the Fire Staff where it's going to glitch your game out, and also doesn't have the cons of the Sliquifier to where you're going to be slipping and sliding. So this weapon literally is both those weapons' love child, and it just took the good parts from each of those and combined them into one. And on round 50, it's still going to be able to take out a lot of zombies. Now the only problem I have with this weapon is that it doesn't carry that much ammo. Considering it takes up 3 jelly thingies per shot, you're going to be running out of ammo fairly quick. So technically, since it takes 3 charges per shot, and you only have 42 in the actual whatever this thing has, you really only have about 14 actual shots. So you really have to rely heavily on Gobblegum and max ammos to actually continue using this weapon. But like I said before with the Apothicon Servant and Shadows of Evil, you have so many other ways to kill zombies with specialist weapons and double pack-a-punch abilities that really the low ammo doesn't really mean much. This weapon is mainly a save-your-ass kind of weapon. You have all these different ways to kill zombies, but this weapon really should only be used to save your ass. And on round 50, it can do just that, and it can take out some zombies. So, that has been all the wonder weapons we've had so far on round 50. You guys have seen what they're able to do. You guys have seen which weapons are good to have, which weapons are bad to have, and I'm very curious to know which one is your guys' favorite. But fuck it, let me know what your top 5 favorite is, because I really want to know. I'll tell you guys my top 5 right now. Wolf Bow, Ray Gun Mark II, Wave Gun, Thunder Gun, Scavenger. Those are my top 5 favorite wonder weapons, and if I could have all those in one map, oh my god, I would be like in heaven. or if I could just have, you know, maybe 2 of those in one map. Fuck it, Treyarch, just put all the wonder weapons in one map. Put all of these in one map. Nothing, no other weapons, just all of these. Fuck SMGs, fuck wall weapons, just put nothing but wonder weapons in one map. So thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys actually watch and support my videos. So again, thank you so much. And if you guys could, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.